Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. A while back I did a video on slot cars. It was very well received and people really enjoyed the information, so I thought I would revisit the slot car niche on eBay to see how the market is doing, see how many are listed, see how many have sold in the last 90 days, and take a look at some of the best-selling slot cars on the site. So like I said, I did a quick search on eBay and found out that the market is still pretty hot. There's a lot of slot cars on the market. Currently, there's 120,000 slot cars listed on eBay. Now, of that 120,000, we narrowed the search. We took a look at the number of cars that have sold in the last 90 days to check the sell-through rate, see if the sell-through rate is still as good as it once was, and it's not doing too bad. There are 98,000 of the 120,000 that have sold in the last 90 days. So pretty good little sell-through rate on these slot cars. It's not a bad little niche to be selling in. If you want to find a new item to sell on eBay, this is a pretty good one to go with. Now, when I say this is a good niche to get into, I mean it is a good niche. You're not selling these cars for $5 to $10 and flipping your money that way. Some of these cars sell for big money. Of the 98,000 that have sold in the last 90 days, 8,400 have actually sold for over $100. So you pick these up for cheap enough, flip them for over $100. That's a decent little profit in your pocket for each one of these cars. And we want to kind of focus on these high-end cars, so we're going to take a look at some of those cars that have sold recently on eBay for over $100. Let's take a look. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to look at 10 that have ended recently and sold for over $100. Here's a look at the first one. It's a Garvik 124 scale Lunar GP2000 slot car with box, sold for $100 at auction, one bid. Let's take a look at these photos to kind of get an idea what we want to keep an eye out for when we're out there sourcing for slot cars. If you see any of these at garage sales, estate sales, or maybe even sourcing for them online, this is the type of car you're looking for that can sell for over $100. This is the first of 10 that we're going to look at, so get your eyes on this and kind of pay attention to what to look for when you're out there in the wild searching for slot cars. Now here's a look at another one that sold for $100. Again at auction, it's a Bauer Mercedes AMG yellow number 31 Ho slot car, $100 at auction. Let's take a better look at this. Looks like the Mercedes-Benz, so that's always a good brand. Ho is a great brand of slot car, the Bauer model. So get a lot of this information in your head, so when you're out there searching these slot cars, maybe someone has a collection, you know which ones you want to pay a little bit more money for. Again, this one went for $100 on eBay recently. We're just searching the most recent cars that have sold for over $100. Let's take a look at another. Alright, so here's one that sold significantly over $100. This one sold for $170. It's a Green Hornets Black Beauty slot car, HO scale. And again, the movie came out, the Green Hornet, so maybe there's some demand for this one. Maybe it is sought after. Obviously the car is iconic, it's part of that movie, so you want to see this one racing around your track. And a lot of times they don't make a lot of these specific cars, so if you see the Black Beauty, the Green Hornet Black Beauty out there, this one went for $170, sold here on the 11th just recently, so I'm talking real time. This one just sold for $170. There's a look at it. Appears to be in great condition, has the box and everything, so $170 for that one. Let's take a look at another. Alright, here's another one sold at auction, $125 for this one. Again, a Bauer, that brand, Bauer VW 1200 Tour de Europe Blue HO slot car, $125. Let's take a look at these photos, get a better look. They have the case and everything. It has the number on there. The 4388 is the VW 1200 Tour de Europe, 1960. So that's the older version of the VW. And you can see it has all the specifics on the box there. The 1960 VW 1200 Tour de Europe. So that's a good one to keep an eye out for. 1/64th scale on this one, so interesting. Alright, so here's another one. This one sold for $225. It might feel like I'm showing you a lot of the same. It's another VW. This is the Herbie Lovebug HO slot car. Again, this was actually sold by the same seller, so maybe they got a bunch of these and somebody bought them all up. But if there's that kind of demand for them, that's the kind of car we want to know about. Let's take a look. Again, the Bauer. This is the Lovebug, the Herbie Lovebug. So again, another movie reference. Again, you know, if they're sought after because of their connection to a movie, there is that demand for them. $225, even more than the other bug. So this one's definitely an interesting one to keep an eye out for. The Love Bug. Everybody remembers those movies from the 70s, the Herbie Love Bug. There it is, number 53 on there. Nice looking. $43.91 is the number to watch for this one. The Bauer model is definitely the one that is sought after. Alright, here is yet another one, the same seller, so he must have had a buyer that bought all three of these, I'm guessing. This is a Bauer Ford GT40 red HO slot car, $200 for this one. Nice looking Ford GT, obviously a great model. People love that car. They can't afford the real thing. They want to get the slot car, run it on their track. So this one, $200, got it, and that's shipping on top of that $655 ground shipping. So let's take a look at this one. There's the number 4440, the Ford GT40 Le Mans 66. So the model is the older 66 model. That's what the Ford GT, the vintage car, looked like back in the day. So people wanted that nostalgia. They wanted this brand new in-box to get on their track, and pretty interesting. I'm not sure if they'd actually run this or maybe just keep it as a collector, but a lot of people want these sought after models, and the Ford GT40 sold for $200. Let's keep looking at some more of these big money cars. Alright, so we're going to look at another 4 of these cars that sold for over $100. That's all we're searching, the most recent cars that have sold for over $100. And this is an interesting one right here. This is a little different than the others I've shown you. This is an HO 1/64 scale metal body slot car, custom metal body, 2 slot cars, flatbed with a Mustang. So you get the flatbed with the Mustang. $110 this one sold for. And again, just sold on the 11th, so just recently sold. Let's take a look at this one. They have a little video. Let's maybe hit this video, see if we can get this to run and give you guys a look at what this thing looks like in action. There it is. Get this thing to play. We can check it out. It's buffering. There it goes. You guys see that? They got the track all set up. There it goes. So they got a nice little video of this thing in action going around the track. Pretty cool little action. So this thing, they can show that this thing does work right there on the track, giving you live action of this thing moving around the track. So that's what people want. They want to see this live action video to help these things get sold. Look at that. The car is on the back of it. You could either run it with a truck or by itself. So 2 in 1. They're saying 2 cars in one. You can run the truck and the car stacked or separately. So pretty cool little demonstration here. You don't always get to see that. And here's some fun photos, close-ups of it. There's, you see the truck, the Maestro, and there is the car, which is a Mustang, right, I think. So there it is on the truck. You can run it on the truck or the car by itself. There's a look at it. Let me give you guys a little closer look at the car there. There's the car hanging off the back, and there's the truck. So pretty cool photos here. They did a great job taking all kinds of photos of this thing. There's a look at it on the back of the truck. Let me zoom you guys out a little so you can get a better look at it. There it is, all its glory there. So they took a lot of photos of this one. We'll go through these kind of quick. We want to look at a few more cars and give you guys a good idea about these cars that are selling for over 100. We want to familiarize ourselves with some of these slot cars. So if we're out in the wild searching for some inventory and we see one of these, we can pick it up and know this one goes for over $100. You know, then you can feel comfortable paying $50 for a slot car. You know, a lot of times people have trouble paying that kind of money for inventory, but if you know it sells regularly, then the sell-through rate is great, like I showed you. Then you can feel a little bit better about dropping some money, some serious money on inventory that you know will move pretty quickly. Investing in a slot car collection is not a bad investment. There it is. There's the original photo. So let's take a look at another one that sold for over 100. All right, so here is an interesting one. This one sold by Ricky Bobby 26. If you want to check them out on eBay, sold for $169. It was an auction, got 2 bids. So a lot of these are ending with 1 bid. This one got an extra bid. $10.85 shipping on top of that. Let's take a look. You saw the Ford GT race car. This appears to be a Ferrari. This is a slot IT KW01 Ferrari 312 PB 1972 Targa Florio Winners LTED 2-car set. And then the number is 3944 and 4000. So if you're a collector, that probably means a little more than it does to me, but pretty interesting. Has all the information there. I guess you could just take it off the box, and if you don't know much about it, Slotted. So Slotted is the brand on this one. So if you're looking for Slotted, this one sold for $169. That'd be a good one to pick up. Looks like new in the box. Ferrari 312 PB, it says on the box there. And they have, there's a look at the cars, a nice sharp image of the cars. They did a really good job taking photos. So you can see why this one sold for the big money, $169. You're looking for cars over $100. This is a good little set to pick up. The Slotted KW01 Ferrari 312 PB. So pretty interesting listing here. All right, so here's another one. I think what I'm going to do is show you 2 more of these cars that have sold for over $100. That's what we search. We search cars selling for over 100. These are recent sales, the most recent sales. We're just looking at the 10 that have sold most recently over $100. We're going to look at 2 more, and then we're going to look at the top 5 selling cars. So if you want to stick around and see what the top 5 selling cars on eBay are these days, you can continue watching. But we're going to look at these 2 first. This is a Scaltrex referenced C3892A Le Mans triple pack. So a 1967 Les 24 Houris. So I'm not familiar with this one at all. This is all new information to me. But there's a look at it. Scale X Trix. How would you pronounce that? Scale with an X Trix. So 1967 Le Mans triple pack. So you get the 3 cars in this one. Pretty interesting. Oh, I didn't tell you, $200 this one sold for. So you're looking for cars over 100, this double that. This one sold for $200 plus $15 priority shipping. So let's see what you get in this one. You find this pack out there, maybe at an estate sale or something, pick it up in 1967. So I don't know if the cars are that old or this they might be vintage cars. That's maybe why they're going for so much money. Or maybe they're just the models from 67. But there they are, 67's, the Le Mans triple pack. So pretty nice looking cars, all red in color. Number 21, 24, and number 1. You probably want to race that number 1. That would be the one that I would want to throw on the track and do my best with. But looks like a triple pack maybe sold back in the day. And it's in excellent condition. They have the box and everything there. There's a look at it. The 67 Le Mans triple pack Legends, they're calling this one. So $200 for that one. Let's take a look at one more listing that sold for over 100, and then we'll get into the top 5 selling cars on eBay. All right, so here's the 10th one. So we told you that we're going to show you 10 that sold over 100. This one sold for $140. It's a little bit different. It's a vintage Sears Allstate by Strombecker 132 scale competition 6-in-1 race set. So it's the complete set here, and an old one as well, vintage Sears. $140 they paid for this one. You have only 2 photos here, but there is the box that it looks like on the front there with the cars, and you get a little peek at it. This next photo, there it is. You see the cars in there. It looks like a red one and a blue one. Number 7 is the blue, and you see the set. It looks to be complete with all the racing manuals and everything, coming back to us from long ago. Vintage Sears. The Hawkeye Toys and Gifts sold this one. $140 they got for this one, plus $49.99 shipping, priority shipping. So they're getting a hefty amount for shipping on this one. But it is a vintage piece in the box. probably takes a little bit more money to ship something like that, and they want to make sure it gets to you in good condition. So $50 to ship it. They probably bubble wrap that and get it in a nice sturdy box, get it to you in one piece. $140 when you're buying something for that amount of money. You want it packed nicely, make sure it gets to you in working order. So that vintage stuff is very delicate. Sometimes you got to be careful when you ship that kind of stuff. Make sure to add a little extra bubble wrap and whatnot. I know that as a seller, you don't want it showing up to them in pieces, you know. So all you sellers out there, if you're looking for this, you find this at an estate sale or something, you know, someone's got it in their closet or something from when they grew up in the 60s or whatever, and they got the old Sears set. This one goes for $140, so you can find that for $10 at an estate sale, flip it for $140. That is a decent profit. The sell-through rate is there, and the money's in your pocket, as good as in your pocket if you find something like this. So keep an eye out for these sets, the individual cars as well. Now we're going to look at the top 5 selling cars. We looked at this in previous videos, so it'll be interesting to see if the market's changed any. Maybe there's some big money cars that have sold recently. So let's take a look. Alright, so here we're starting at number 5, counting down to number 1, the top 5 selling slot cars on eBay. I search keyword slot cars, so obviously if you search something different, your results may be a little different, but this is what we got when we searched slot cars, searched highest to lowest priced, and this one sold recently, sold February 19th, and it sold for $2,613.58, free shipping. And this is a old Tamiya, T-A-M-I-Y-A, 1967 slot racer, 1/25th scale Dodge Charger. So the vintage Dodge Charger, and then they got all the decals, all the stickers, the box and everything, the manual. And let's take a look at these photos a little bit more detailed. There's a look at the box, the Dodge Charger. So the Tamiya, I guess is how you would pronounce it. I'm kind of familiarizing myself with a lot of these names right now. I don't know much about the slot car niche, so I'm learning as we go. So if I mispronounce things, please forgive me. But this is a Dodge Charger, I know that much. A nice looking Charger. I heard they're bringing back the Charger in some variation, so they'll be out there on the roadways again. But look at this, back in the day, a 67, all the decals, everything's still in one little box there. Looks like they never put this together, and all the pieces and everything. So pretty cool little slot racer, they're calling this. So not even a slot car, slot racer. But this one sold for $2,613.58. You search slot cars, this came up, so that's why we're seeing it, because they called it a slot racer. So kind of a little tricky way to get your Dodge Charger in the mix. The slot racer, 1/25th scale. So I'd call this more of a model than a slot car, but interesting that it made the list. Over $2,000 for this thing, $2,613 at number 5 on our list. Let's take a look at number 4. Alright, so at number 4 on our list, the top selling cars on eBay, slot cars. This is a Tyco Dark Blue Indy sealed, sold by Slick Wheels. It sold for $2,999. $350 shipping on top of that. So this looks pretty unsuspecting. A Tyco Magnum 440, the fastest way to win, it says, for all Tyco and AFX slot car type electric racing track. So this 8926 is the model number on this one. You know, if I'd see this, I wouldn't know this is a $3,000 car. How would you know, right? Unless you know a little something about slot cars, and that's what we're trying to learn here about these big money slot cars. Look at this, a Tyco Dark Blue Indy sealed. So number 40 STP on the car there. It doesn't look like much to me, but $3,000 in this guy's pocket. Slick Wheels sold it and got $3,000. So a nice little find there for Slick Wheels. We wonder how much he paid for it, you know? How much did this guy pay for this to sell it for $3,000? Can you imagine find that for $5 at an estate sale, flip it for $3,000? That's the kind of profit we want to see in the future. So that's why we're doing this research, taking a look at some of these slot cars, seeing what they go for. Let me give you guys a look at these photos again. Get your eyes on this one. The 40 STP Tyco Dark Blue Indy. So the Indy car racing is popular these days, and they want those for their cars on the track. Get it on their track. the slot cars for their track. They want those Indy cars going around there. I guess maybe these things run quicker than the others, who knows. But that is what, number 4 on our list. Let's take a look at number 3. All right, here is a look at the third selling the slot car on eBay. This one sold for $2,995. Again, Tyco US1 electric trucking highway shell wrecker set. This is an entire set, 3213, the garage station they're calling this one. So let's take a look at this one. There's the front of it. It looks like they got a video that goes along with this one. Let me see, we started with this. There's the box. Should we take a look at this video? You guys want to see it in action? You can hit this video and get a look at it. The truck, I guess, let's see if we can get this to play. All right, there it goes. Look at that. 2 trucks going at the same time. Look at that. It's a pretty cool little video. You can see they got these videos on here that really helps boost the profits, I'd imagine. You show it in working order. That's what people want to see. And they're showing all the decals and everything as long with the set. So they had the 2 trucks going at the same time, all the decals, all the information, the model numbers, and he did a real good job shooting little video close-ups here of all the specifics. Look at that, the little gravel supply company set there comes apart, and a lot of details. There's a look at the actual trucks you'll be getting, and $29.95 I think that this one sold for, so close to $3 grand for this set. And it's an old one, still in working order with all the nice little details that you can set it up and run it as you wish. So I think we've seen it, right? You guys have seen everything you get. Let's take a look at the rest of these photos. Obviously he went all out with this. He's got it all inventoried there, everything you get. Pretty interesting little set that they have all this stuff still from back in the day. You wonder, did they ever use it? Maybe it just sat in the closet the whole time. 3213 is the model number on this one. The highway wrecker, they're calling that. I don't know if that's the name of the truck or the set, but Tyco. So there's the original box and everything. Even got the insert, a little ding in the box there, but not bad condition. Even the box is looking sharp. Usually the boxes are all beat up, but that one had very little sun damage. This thing is probably sat in a closet for 40 years, who knows. There's the little controllers. Oh, nice looking. There it is running again. You see him going around the track there. So in working order, both cars and trucks are running good, so that's a look. So now that you guys have seen that video, everything running in action, let's take a look at the photos. They set it all up so you could see what you'll be getting. There's a little gravel set that they showed you in the video. The gravel supply company, there's a look at it. Looks like it's oiled up and ready to go. They probably had to do a little work. Someone probably knew what they're doing here. The Tyco pickup track for disabled car. Operating garage and the operating gravel hopper and bin with trailer. So good description, all the information on these decals and pamphlets that go with it, instructions I guess you would call them, Shell road service, all the stickers they didn't even use. So you could put all the stickers on the, looks like the little garage you could sit up there. Oil change $20. Wouldn't it be nice you could get an oil change $20, brakes $70. So this is definitely old. Toys R Us, they bought it, looks like $37.97 originally. Toys R Us, look at that. You see that little sticker there? Let me zoom in. Right there is that little Toys R Us sticker. You see that? It's upside down, but it says alright, so there is the sticker I was telling you. $37.97 for this one originally. That's pretty good markup considering you paid 40 bucks for it and you're getting $3 grand for it. Of course it took a little time, right? But here's a look at the rest of the photos. Everything you get. There's the little damage to the box he showed you. Let's see if we can get you there. There's a look at, he's pointing out the little crease in the box. So not bad. The box is otherwise in pretty good condition. Tape on the bottom there. The original tape probably. Someone probably got that for Christmas, a little tape on it or something. But there's a look at the box. Let's zoom out. So a pretty interesting listing. There's the box, the first photo. So nice looking set. Alright, so we got 2 more listings to show you. Again, these are the top selling slot cars, keyword slot cars on eBay the last 90 days. It's kind of fun to take a look at these and kind of see what's out there, see what's selling for big money. That's what we want to research and find out. If you enjoy this sort of content, consider subscribing to the channel. We like to educate you guys, educate myself as well, trying to learn about these slot cars, see if maybe we can find one of these in the next year, find one of these big money slot cars and flip it for this big money. And talking about big money, this one sold for the biggest, well, second biggest. There's one more that we'll look at, but this one sold for $3,750. $3,750. Let me say that one more time. Can you imagine? Almost $4,000 for this set. It's a Cox IFC collection, Cheetah Racer, Ferrari Mag Frame 16 total. That's what it says in the title. And $48 ground shipping on top of that. Looks like you get 16 cars. They have them all spread out there. Let's take a look at the rest of these photos though. $3,750. One bid at auction. There's the bottom. Looks to be all in working order. Looks like some of them might even be missing the tires, but these are old ones. You can tell Cox IFC collection is the brand. So if you see the Cox IFC, maybe that's one to keep an eye out for. These definitely have some age to them. Don't know a lot about slot cars, but this is definitely one to keep an eye out for. $3,750. Number 2 on our list today. We're going to be taking a look at number 1, finishing off the video right. But I want to thank everybody for watching this one thus far. Look at all the detail on these. They took some good photos, and that's what you need to get this good money. People want to see the details and see what they're buying. Look at that. They got them all taken apart and everything, all different colors. You imagine those racing around your set. Look at, there's the number 1. I told you, people like racing that number 1. They want to be the pole position number 1 car, right? That's always what I wanted to do as a kid, but these are cool. I like these, but you wonder how old these are. I have to look at the description. Nat V Sun is the seller. He got $3,750 for it, and he's got 100% positive feedback, so he's a good seller on eBay. You can see a nice little set here. Got tons of photos. You can get a good look at this listing. Look at the detail on that one. The green one. The Green Goblin, would you call that one? Oh, we saw the Green Goblin earlier. That was a different car. But look at that. Is that a little Ferrari, the red one? All you racing guys probably know all these cars much better. There's a Ferrari emblem on those, so a couple Ferraris. So people like those branded cars. They want the old ones, the old models, and they'll pay big money for them. This set going for $3,750. So this slot car game is real. You want to get into this niche, a great sell-through rate, and a lot of stuff selling for over $100. And here are some big money ones. We're going to take a look at number 1 next. I want to thank everybody for watching this video thus far, and hopefully you're excited to see number 1 on the list, and maybe you'll find it out there in the wild. You imagine this one, $3,750. So number 1 sold for more. Let's take a look. Alright, here it is, encased in plastic. There you see it, the number 1 selling slot car on eBay. Keyword slot cars is what I searched. Number 1, this one sold for, wait for it, this one sold for $4,078.28. Let me say it again, $4,078.28. 59 bids, so this one definitely had a bidding war. $640 ground shipping on top of that. I would send this one priority if I was you, buddy. This one, Steve Denny number 1 sold this one, $4,078.28. So interesting. Let's take a look at these other photos. They got it in the plastic. Oh, this is the Aurora HO scale Thunderjet 500. Thunderjet 500 2x2 fastback number 1373 2.98. That's what the title says, so that's what you're getting here. That's the one to look out for, the Thunderjet 500 Aurora HO scale fastback. So there you see it, the Aurora modeling, motor modeling and hoe scale. Put in the comment section, I'm not sure what that means, HO scale. Is that something related to slot cars, I'd imagine? Mustang 2x2, the Mustang Fastback. So this one is number 1373 is the model. 2.98 might be the size, I guess. You guys are probably screaming at me, all you model car guys. But please be patient. I'm learning here. I'm trying to get good knowledge so that maybe if I find this Thunder Jet 500 fastback, I can make $4,078.28. That's what this one went for. The best-selling slot car on eBay the last 90 days. Steve Denny _1 sold this one and racked in over $4,000. A little slot car making them $4,000. Can you believe it? What a world. You see that one out in the wild at a thrift shop, at an estate sale, in grandma's garage somewhere, pick that one up for sure. Alright, so that completes today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little look at the slot car niche on eBay. Like I said, I did this slot car video a while back, but obviously things change on eBay. You know, new cars come on the market, new things sold. I looked at it about a year ago, maybe a little over a year. So we thought we'd take another look at the slot car niche on eBay, see how things are doing. Let me give you a reminder, 120,000 cars are currently listed on eBay. 98,000 have sold in the last 90 days. So a great sell-through rate. Of that 98,000, what was it, 400? No, 8,400. 8,400 have sold for over $100. Sorry, I was looking at my paperwork there. 8,400 have sold for over $100. And you saw the top 5 there. That one going for over $4,000 was the top car. Those sets, a lot of those sets that you might find at an estate sale in a garage somewhere, grandpa's garage, those sell for big money as well. So keep an eye out for those in the upcoming year, and hopefully some of this slot car money will come your way. If you're a collector, get in that comment section. I know the last slot car video I did got a lot of comments. You guys were talking slot cars. I was learning a lot from you guys. So get in that comment section. Let me know what you think of these cars. Let me know if there's anything I should know as I move forward looking for these slot cars out in the wild. Maybe where I can find them, you know. That's always what resellers want to know. Where can we find these slot cars? So any additional information from all you slot car enthusiasts would be appreciated. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. That'll help get it in front of a few more eyes. Hit that thumbs up button. And if you really enjoyed things, consider subscribing to the channel. We got fresh videos coming to you daily, so there's always something fun for you to watch. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this look into the slot car niche on eBay, and you'll be back for more in the future. Thanks again for watching this one to the very end. I'm Brian Kingsbury. We'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.